they can put somebody on their passes for flights.
Okay.
It worked for me, really, being single, because I was the named I'm off now. Well, she'd been made redundant, but as soon as she met Mark, I lost my rights to my ticket.
Oh.
But, so I had an amazing, when I've been writing all this to see where I've been, and
it's amazing.
My tickets were like £200, if that, £100, to go. And like when I went to Australia, I had 13 tickets on me, all open-ended. So, and I don't think that cost me hardly anything. So
that's amazing.
I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah.
I've only been able to go to all these places because of her, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I must remember that when I get cross with her.
Can I put that in the book? It might make her laugh when she reads it.
I don't know that I'm going to let them read it till I'm dead. So, yeah.
Okay.
So anyhow, I came back, and unfortunately, Mum and Dad were away at the time on a cruise. Sadly, I didn't realise, I think, at the time that Mum had lost the one thing that was hers to love.
Yeah.
He was her. She loved us all, but he was her boy. He was, and I didn't really understand it. And I can remember saying to Mum one day later, Mum, you've got two more. You've got Stephanie and I. But, hindsight, I can understand it now.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, if it's the only boy syndrome. But my uncle was the same way. It was my uncle and my mother and my aunts. So it was one boy and all girls. And when he came to town, because he had moved away, it was like the baby Jesus had risen. And I was like, why do we have to spend 3 days cleaning and cooking because Uncle Bill is coming? And then I slowly realized that he was her everything, and she had 3 daughters. It's just.
My daughter calls my son Golden Balls. And I don't think that I'm any different with them. They both got their good and bad, and I love them both the same. But he's Golden Balls, and he can fall in a cow patch and come out with a tenner in his hand,
he's a lucky guy, is he? It was one of those people, okay.
Yeah. Whereas Nick, he's just been on holiday to the Maldives. She was going to Antigua with her family, and little one was positive. So, he went, she didn't, and she's like, typical,
He always lands on his feet. That's how I would say that. Some people are just born with that karma.
Hopefully it'll always be that way for him.
Yeah.
So came back after Chris died, and I don't know, John said give it another go. He bought this boat, and so you do.
Where was the boat moored? Where did he?
In Old Portsmouth.
Okay.
Portsmouth, yeah.
So was it a big enough boat to live on, or did you just kind of take it out?
It was. He still lives on it, but we didn't live on it at the time. He had an apartment in Old Portsmouth. Okay. So I did move in there.
Mm-hmm. But is he still? So when's the last time you saw him, or is he?
I spoke to him. Probably we speak to each other on birthdays or whatever, and I'll go to him. How are you, you old fart? He's still breathing. And
did he end up? I mean, you said Did he ended up married, or did he?
Single. No, single.
Still
he ended up single.
Okay.
Dave ended up single. They've never.
None of them are remarried. Okay.
No.
Only Mike, who ended up with someone and having a child. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. So maybe there's a little element there of never quite. Maybe you're the one that got away in a way.
Yeah. John has sort of said that type of thing at the time, that I didn't actually realise what I had. But he was Peter Pan. He liked the girls, and
Well, it's his decision.
That was pay the price. Pay the price. I mean, now he lives on that boat. He got no money, like the other one. No money now. Lives on his boat. But he just lives on his boat and reads all day. I think he's just a total recluse, really. Now, as Dave went.
Have you stayed sort of friendly with them, or
sort of, you know,
just kind of?
And say I don't, because what's the point? But yes, they are. You know, that odd call. I've got his number. He's got mine, and
so it's not acrimonious. The breakups, you sort of still can be decent and civil with each other, which is good. Yeah. Okay.
I've always been civil with them all, to be honest.
Yeah.
But and then what happened then?
So you came back when Chris died, which was in 97. Yep.
97.
Yeah.
97. Yeah.
And the whole time, what happened to your business when you were in BVI?
Oh, I'd sold everything. Yeah, I'd have sold it, or did somebody? There was a guy rented it off me.
Okay.
I think. No, was that before that?
So that really, when your kids grew up and kind of went out their own way, that was kind of a life change for you. Like, now I can do whatever I want, really. And not that you couldn't before, but when you've got kids to look after, there's a bit of a,
Yeah,
it
was different, whereas now they'd flown their own ways and I was free and single and or trying to get away from being. I mean, I know, like the London Road shop, the Get It Cut, there was lots of problems with it. I just got 11,000 bill in the end for some guy that was using it for drugs that I'd rented it to.
Oh, yuck. Okay.
There was lots of other things going on. With John, I bought a villa in Spain when I was with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he'd always said, why do you want to live in England? Why don't you get a villa in Spain? So me being me, thought that's where he wants to live. I'm going to buy a villa in Spain. So I went on the inspection flight. Everybody said, don't put a deposit down. And I did, But when it was finally built, we drove down there and he says, it's not where I want to be. I don't want to live down there. And I was devastated once again.
Sorry, he sounds a bit like someone who doesn't really know what he wants.
No.
Kid in a sweet shop, kind of.
I think, to be honest, Laurie, the girl that he was with in Canada, he'd never got over. So he was looking for that love, really.
I see. Okay. So
what made him a playboy.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So I bought this villa. Nobody wanted to go. I'm still going. Nikki's at private school now because I didn't want to go to the secondary school in Portsmouth. So I booked her into a Spanish school in Spain the day would come. Mm-hmm. So I went on my own eventually down there. But 6 weeks later, without him, without my daughter, it rained constantly. I came home.
Okay, and you sold the villa? Yes.
Eventually. I kept it for about 10 years.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. I came home, I think that was the November when I was about to be 40. Mm-hmm. 79. And then I was so miserable. It was the worst birthday ever. I was just, because I was in love with him still, I bought this villa. My daughter was at boarding school. I had no money, again, no job. But a friend of mine had a very old caravan in her garden, so that on Hayling. Mm-hmm. So that's what.
Okay, so you keep kind of going back to Hayling.
Yeah, keep coming back here. So because what happened was then I still had the 4 units, or not all.
Right, yeah.
I had two. I had one flat and one shop left. So I gave somebody notice and then moved in there just before